Sam Walton wasn't born into wealth, but he had a vision that would redefine retail forever. From a small-town store owner in Arkansas to the mastermind behind Walmart's multi-billion-dollar empire, Walton didn't just rely on hard work and low prices, he mastered the art of business structure. Behind Walmart's meteoric rise lies a clever use of corporate strategy, particularly the power of the LLC, or limited liability company. This story isn't just about retail dominance, it's about how legal and financial engineering turned an idea into one of the world's greatest fortunes. Let's go back to the 1940s. Sam Walton was a young entrepreneur with big dreams but limited resources. After serving in World War II, he used his savings and a small loan to buy a Ben Franklin variety store franchise in Newport, Arkansas. Walton didn't invent the retail store. He reinvented how it was run. He studied customer behavior, bought directly from wholesalers to cut out middlemen, and slashed prices to levels competitors couldn't match. The formula worked. His store made record profits, but when his landlord refused to renew the lease, Walton lost everything. Most people would have quit. Sam started again. In 1950, Walton opened a new store in Bentonville, Arkansas, Walton's Five and Dime. It was here that his business philosophy took root. Serve the customer better than anyone else and keep prices so low that everyone can afford them. The idea seemed simple, but Walton understood that true growth required more than good service. It required a structure that could protect his assets, manage expansion, and minimize taxes. And this is where the brilliance of using LLCs came in. By the 1960s, as Walmart began to expand, Walton and his advisors realized that owning multiple stores under a single legal entity was risky. If one store was sued or went bankrupt, the entire business could be exposed. So instead of keeping everything under one roof, Walton used a structure that would later become famous among billionaires: separate LLCs for individual stores and assets. Each Walmart location could be owned by a different LLC, providing limited liability protection. That meant if one store failed, it wouldn't drag the others down. This approach isolated risk and allowed the Walton family to control expansion while shielding their fortune. Think of it this way. Walmart didn't grow as one giant company swallowing small towns. It grew as a network of smaller, self-contained legal entities, all under Sam Walton's strategic control. Each LLC could lease property, hire employees, and handle operations independently. This gave the company incredible flexibility. It also made it easier to attract local investors and partners. In many cases, Sam Walton would set up an LLC where he owned part of the company, and a local partner, often a trusted manager, owned the rest. This built loyalty and motivation across the growing Walmart empire. But the LLC strategy wasn't just about protection, it was also about taxes. In the United States, LLCs are pass-through entities, meaning profits pass directly to the owners, who then pay individual income taxes rather than corporate taxes. By strategically distributing ownership among family members and subsidiary entities, Walton could minimize overall tax liability. He effectively split income streams and avoided the double taxation that regular corporations faced. Walton also used trusts and holding companies in tandem with LLCs to manage wealth across generations. One of his smartest moves was transferring ownership of key assets into family-controlled entities early, long before Walmart became the retail giant it is today. These trusts and LLCs shielded the Walton family from massive estate taxes. By the time Walmart went public in 1970, much of the wealth was already secured in protected vehicles. This is one reason why, even decades later, the Walton family remains among the richest in the world, with multiple family members ranking in the top 10 on Forbes' billionaire list. Now here's what's fascinating. Sam Walton wasn't a corporate lawyer or a financial engineer. He was a small-town businessman who surrounded himself with people who understood the law. He asked questions, stayed curious, and applied every legal tool available to him. When Walmart became a publicly traded company, the foundation he had built through those LLCs ensured that control stayed within the family. The Waltons owned key LLCs that held shares, properties, and intellectual property rights, allowing them to maintain voting control long after the IPO. By the late 1970s and 1980s, Walmart's expansion became unstoppable. The company's decentralized structure allowed it to open stores faster and more efficiently than competitors like Kmart and Sears. Each new location could be planned, financed, and launched under its own LLC, which reduced corporate red tape. It also made financial reporting more efficient. If one region underperformed, it wouldn't distort the company's overall financial health. Essentially, Walton had built a system that scaled without collapsing under its own weight. But perhaps the most genius part of Sam Walton's LLC strategy was real estate. Unlike many of his competitors who rented store properties, Walton believed in owning the land beneath his stores. He would often form a separate LLC just to hold the real estate for each Walmart location. That way, Walmart, the retailer, could lease the space from an LLC that the Walton family owned. The result? Every time Walmart paid rent, the money flowed back into another Walton-controlled entity. It was internal wealth circulation, and it's still happening today. This method served two purposes. First, it kept real estate ownership separate from retail operations, adding another layer of liability protection. Second, it created long-term passive income for the family. Even if the retail business struggled, the Walton family still earned rent from one of the largest commercial real estate portfolios in America. Today, Walmart Realty, a subsidiary of the company, manages thousands of properties across the U.S. Many still link to the structure Sam Walton set up decades ago. Behind all of this was Walton's philosophy of frugality and efficiency. He drove an old pickup truck, wore simple clothes, and flew coach long after he could afford private jets. But don't mistake that humility for simplicity. Walton's mind was razor sharp when it came to business mechanics. He knew that a great idea wasn't enough. It had to be supported by a strong structure. His use of LLCs and trusts was decades ahead of its time. Today, nearly every billionaire, from real estate moguls to tech founders, uses similar structures to manage risk and build generational wealth. When Walmart went public in 1970, it was valued at just $165 million. By 2025, that number had exploded to over $400 billion in market capitalization. But the Waltons still hold immense control, largely thanks to the LLC and trust networks Sam established. The family owns about half of Walmart's shares through holding entities like Walton Enterprises LLC and the Walton Family Holdings Trust. These structures consolidate power, protect against corporate takeovers, and allow them to influence Walmart's direction even today. The lessons here go beyond Walmart. Sam Walton's success proves that building wealth isn't just about making money. It's about how you protect and structure it. Many entrepreneurs focus on growing their business but neglect how it's legally and financially built. Walton did both. He combined small-town business instincts with big-time corporate foresight. His use of LLCs made Walmart flexible, resilient, and nearly bulletproof against financial threats. And that's the genius of Sam Walton's legacy. He wasn't just building stores. He was building a system where every dollar worked twice, where every risk was isolated, and where every asset was protected. Walmart's empire wasn't built on luck or chance. It was built brick by brick, LLC by LLC, under a structure that ensured it would last generations. Today, Walmart employs over 2 million people worldwide, serving more than 240 million customers each week. It's the largest private employer in the world, and still expanding. But behind all that scale and success lies the same principle Sam Walton lived by. Control your costs, protect your assets, and always think long-term. So the next time you walk into a Walmart, remember, what you're seeing isn't just a retail store. It's the physical embodiment of one man's understanding of the American system. Sam Walton mastered both sides of the game, serving customers on the front end and protecting his empire on the back end. His legacy isn't just measured in sales or store counts, it's measured in how he used the law itself as a tool for success. In the end, Sam Walton's story is more than a business case. It's a blueprint, a lesson that real power doesn't come from the products you sell, but from the structures you build. Whether you're starting a small business or dreaming of the next billion-dollar idea, remember this. Great entrepreneurs don't just build companies, they build systems that last. And Sam Walton, through his clever use of LLCs, built one of the strongest systems the world has ever seen. If you found this breakdown fascinating, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'll be diving deeper into the secret business structures behind America's wealthiest families, from how Elon Musk uses trusts to how Jeff Bezos structured Amazon's empire. You'll never look at business the same way again.